Independent, locally owned New Orleans bookstore, Octavia Books, offers author events, book signings, and hand-picked titles for all ages. OctaviaBooks.com.
Creole Restaurant offers a culinary adventure prepared by a tiny animated French chef. A 5-course dinner experience comes to life at each place setting using projection mapping. Located in the historic Hotel Monteleone. Learn more at creolonola.com.
This program is supported in part by a community arts grant made possible by the City of New Orleans as administered by Arts New Orleans.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area. Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
From jazz to jambalaya, theater to galleries.
Steppin Out brings you the best of our local arts and culture scene each week.
Let's step up and step out. Together, keeping WYES strong.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin' Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hello.
Hello,
Good
Peg.
to see you, my dear. Robert Bob Becker, and he is the author of the brand new memoir, Going South, Stories and Thoughts from a Northerner's Career as a Southerner. Welcome back.
Hey,
Good to
Peg.
see you. Hello. And of course, you did the history of the more recent history of City Park. Good to
Right.
see you. Hello. Alan Smason,
Hi.
editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Howdy, Alan. And later on, we will have a ragtime music performance with Patrick Mackey and Lars Edegran to showcase NOLA Ragtime Day. We're so excited about that. And we want to thank Maria K. Chetta for the Easter cookies made by the talented Joan Farrell Mathis. We have a photo. They're so adorable, so adorable.
And they smell good.
Yeah, you got to check them out. They're really, really cute. But anyway, very good. And Poppy, we have news.
Yes.
Toops
A
Meadery.
new menu at Toops Meadery.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to reassure everyone that the classics that you love, like the best cracklins on earth, the fancy foie gras torchon, that candied pig belly, the riant, they're all there. But now, new, that's a poussin. You never see that on a menu.
What's that?
It's a spring chicken. And
Oh.
it's a delicate, beautiful little bird with citrus and tomato braised black-eyed peas. The favorite lamb neck is now being transformed into lamb neck lasagna. And the wildest thing, literally, there's wild boar ribs with pickled pineapple glaze and collards on the new menu. Another yummy, tea-brined quail, served with wild rice and pecan brown butter. And I want to remind everybody, the guys at Toops Meadery are there 7 days a week, lunch, brunch, happy hour, and dinner. But we always have to give them a nod for their incredible charity work, because tomorrow, Toops Family Meals springs into action, doing good on Good Friday, distributing 2,000 food boxes to families in need, and they need your help. So consider making a donation. Get in touch, volunteer sometime if you can, because what good work and important work they're doing in the community. And now I want to ask everybody to come along with me on a trip to the Caribbean with Chef Ralston Williams and actually Nina Compton. He's going to be there doing a very special dinner, April 12th at Compere Le Pan. And this is a beautiful new book from Faden, The Caribbean Cookbook. It celebrates 28 Caribbean countries. Look at this book. It looks like an Easter egg, doesn't it?
It does.
And the interior, it's a fabulous book. It's more than $50 value, and it's included in the price of the dinner. So I didn't even know there were 28 Caribbean countries and island nations in total. Look at those lobster tails, would you just? There are delicious things like Jamaican jerk chicken, Haiti's seafood Creole, a sweet cashew cake from Aruba. Never heard of such a thing. And of course, Dominica's callaloo soup. All the classics, plenty of things you've never heard of before. The menus incorporating tamarind, pimento, pineapple, and rum. There's special cocktails. It's one night only, Sunday, April the 12th. And so go to Compare La Pen for tickets. But you know, Peggy, there's lots of reasons to go visit the old number 77 and Chandlery besides delicious food and cocktails. There's a reception on Wednesday, April 5th called Rooted. It's going on display that night. They're going to have a party to celebrate. It's celebrating World Art Day, and they're doing this with 22 local artists in collaboration. This is Where Your Art Works. That's who collabs with this.
Yeah.
And live music. There'll be drinks and bites, and may I suggest dinner at Compare La Pen after.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. And we turn to Bob. And Bob, my goodness, you have what is the last 30 or 40 years or so? You really your unique location of different jobs, whether it was the head of City Park or being the head of the City Planning Commission. You really did see New Orleans from the 70s and 80s grow into what we are today in terms of infrastructure and in special events.
Yeah, I came down here in 1971 from Buffalo, New York.
Wow.
Hence the title of the book, Going South. And had started off at the City Planning Commission, became the planning director, then went to the Audubon Nature Institute and managed the zoo in Audubon Park for a while, and then finally at City Park, managing that through Katrina and COVID and all those. So I've seen quite a change.
And the World's Fair too. But let's stick to City Park for a moment, because what a time after Katrina. You were the head of the park, and many challenges, to say the least. That's a whole other show and book. But you had an anecdote about something that I think was very poignant. Would you share that with us?
Sure. One of the stories in the book, and it's a book of stories, concerns a birthday party right after Katrina hit, and the park was pretty much annihilated as a result of the storm. We didn't have anything. We had no staff. We had no equipment. We didn't have any money. We had virtually nothing. And we had managed to scrounge up a trailer because our office building was destroyed. And I was sitting in this trailer a few months after the storm, and there was a woman out front who volunteered as a receptionist. And she came back to me in the trailer, and she said, "Bob, there's a lady outside. She's crying, and outside." And I thought, well, what is it? And she said, well, she needs to see you. She wants to have a birthday party for her little girl. And I told her, we didn't have anything. We were destroyed. We had nothing, no facilities that we could do this. But she won't take no for an answer, and she wants to see you. So I went to the front of the trailer. And, she said, my house has been gutted as a result of the storm, obviously, and I'm not going to have my daughter's birthday party in a gutted house. I'm just not going to do it. And you have to have a birthday party for my daughter. And I said, well, how are we going to do that? We don't have any facilities, but, she began to cry, so we became inventive, and we managed to scrounge up a pressure washer from somewhere, I don't know, and we cleaned off the peristyle, in the front of the park. We cleaned it off. And then our director of operations, Rob DeVinny, found a portalette. So we got a portalette. I think we stole a table and chairs from someplace, I don't know. And we put it out there, and she had her birthday party in the park. And there was tears all around. It was a very emotional moment.
Yeah. Well, Bob, you talk about, of course, working at city planning, and you also talk about the World's Fair. What was your favorite object at the World's Fair or place?
Oh, I don't know. The Wonderwall. I'd love the Wonderwall. I was on the gondola the night the fair opened, that they shot fireworks off. I was over the Mississippi River when the fireworks were going off in the gondola. I thought, okay, that's a little dramatic to me. But there were so many great parts to that fair. The Vatican exhibit was great. Going to hear all the music, and Sugar House. So it has so many great memories.
Well, this is so nice and quick and breezy, and I mean, the serious moments, of course, too. Yeah. But I was just so taken by the little girl and her birthday. I thought that was so sweet. And
the book
in the
has
midst of devastation.
The book has lots of stories like that, and I thought, I think there are so many books out that are so serious and are so, difficult, and I thought, maybe everybody's ready for a book of really funny stories.
Available at all local bookstores and online
Amazon,
as well.
Barnes & Noble, Garden District Books, Books A Million.
Support local, but Amazon too, I guess, too. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're going over to Mr. Allen.
Well, the Tennessee Williams New Orleans Literary Festival may have ended, but for those of you out there who are still looking for a chance to catch some Tennessee Williams, you're still in luck, because Tennessee is still being performed on stage by the Irene Collective. They're mounting the last of their shows, an intimate and immersive production of A Streetcar Named Desire at Big Couch on St. Claude Avenue, not far from where the playwright set the action. This is co-director, starring as Blanche Dubois there on the right, Jacqueline Bethany, who plays opposite Stella, played by Lauren Guglielmo. She is, visiting her sister and her brother-in-law. That's Stanley. He cuts an impressive figure. That's Patrick Nix with a deliberate performance. And Justin Davis plays Mitch. That's Stanley's army buddy who begins to have feelings for Blanche. Saturday night show is the only one that seats are still available for. So if you want to check it out, there is a waiting list for the other shows. But I know for a fact that Saturday night's still available. Tickets are available at streetcarnola.net. Again, the Irene Collective, named after, of course, Irene Selznick, who was the daughter of Louis B. Mayer and produced the show on Broadway originally. David Selznick's wife, okay? So let's move on, because I really have to talk a little bit about a wonderful night. Monday night was my night to shine, but really the night of the whole Crescent City Theater Awards Committee and our review team that came together at Rivertown Theaters for the Performing Arts. Those that attended the Crescent City Theater Awards, the second such ceremony in 4 months, and I'll never do that again. Two-time Tony Award winner Michael Cerveris was on hand to announce the top play of 2025. I'm so happy that I was there, able to attend and step up our game. One of the big winners of the night, though, was Waitress. You can see right there on the left, Scott Sauber. And I'm going to continue going on, because we have also, of course, our best director of a musical, Leslie Castay, in the middle there, and of course Whitney Mixon, who is at the right, and of course she was co-starring with Chase Kamada, and they both tied. Believe it or not, a tie. Very rare. Now, the best actress in that musical went, of course, to the incredible Meredith Owens. You see there, she was one of 5 performers who reprised their roles at Rivertown for the Performing Arts Monday. And again, the other big winner of the night was the Lehman Trilogy. You can see right there, A.J. Allegra picked up the award for Best Play, along with a slew of technical awards. That was Le Petit Theatre de Vieux Carré taking home the Best Play. Steve Gilliland, check this out. He's given the Best Sound Design Award, and we see him as the 4th Lehman brother, as he appeared each performance playing a live original score and punching up the sound effects. Again, great work there. And recognized with the Best Choreographer Award was Diane Lala for Summer Lyric Theater's Carousel. Ian Hawke won for Best Featured Actor in a Play for his work in Shakespeare Festival's production of Midsummer Night's Dream. But Lauren Wells here received the Best Leading Actress in a Play for Timbuktu, USA, produced by Intramural Theater. And David Hoover received the Theater Educator of the Year Award right there. Great praise for a man who's been the head of the University of New Orleans Film and Theater Department for most of the last 3 decades. And there was sadness to note. Nobody said it that night, but of course we all heard the news that the entire department will be shutting down with the impending merger of it going back into the LSU system. Just a sad situation. We did, however, have some nice news on the education front. We gave out $900 in camperships to the Jefferson Performing Arts, that's Dennis on the right, and of course to Le Petit Theater on the left. In the middle there, Rivertown's Kelly Fushi. That's for summer camperships. The other highlight of the night was the tribute to Uncle Wayne Daguerpont for his many years of serving the the theater community as an actor, a director, a puppeteer, and mentoring others. And after he received his award, Peggy, he sat down and played a trimmed-down version of George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, proving to everybody that there's much more behind this man than just being a funny guy. And I was especially grateful, as I mentioned, to have Michael Cerveris bring a little bit of Broadway to New Orleans. First, he made the night ever more special by announcing the best play of 2025. But then we had another Broadway moment, and this was another Tony Award winner was in the house, at least via the video. Katie Huffman made the official announcement of the winner for Best Musical. Of course, she was the Tony Award winner for the producers.
Deal. Yeah. Very good. They both are. Thank you. Ragtime Day NOLA will kick off April 9th, but here's a sneak preview with founder Patrick Mackey and longtime New Orleans pianist and bandleader Lars Edegran. Well, officially it's Ragtime Day NOLA, but actually it's days, isn't it?
That's right. It's Thursday through Sunday. Thursday, April the 9th, is at the Mint for 2 to 3 talk. And Friday is at the Dance Quarter New Orleans on Toledano Street from 6 to 9. That's the new Leviathan Orchestra.
Oh, boy.
And then Saturday is all day at the Mint. It's from 11 to 4, and we have everybody from Steve Pistorius, Tom McDermott, Opera Creole, several other bands are going to be there. And then Sunday is our Ragtime Garden Party at the Longview House and Gardens. And Lars's band, the New Orleans Ragtime Orchestra, will be there. Opera Creole will be there singing excerpts from the Scott Joplin opera. And my group, the Silver Swan Ragtime Quartet, will be there.
Wonderful. Lars, how long has the New Orleans Ragtime Orchestra been together?
A real long time. It started back in 1967.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But in the beginning, it was just like a rehearsal band.
Yeah.
We didn't really have any jobs. We started rehearsing at Preservation Hall, actually, with Bill Russell and Paul Crawford and Orange.
Remember those gentlemen well.
And then we got a few little gigs from the New Orleans Jazz Club. Mm-hmm. We did a few gigs for them.
So you've been around for a while. Just for the uninitiated, what is ragtime? 10 words or less, right?
Oh, you better ask the expert over there.
Patrick?
Ragtime is a style of music that came around in the 1890s and early 1900s that kind of introduced American music to the whole world. And, it's really the first time that African ideas came into American music.
And what are you going to play for us tonight?
We're going to play a really famous piece called The Entertainer by Scott Joplin.
Especially if you saw the movie The Sting,
You're right.
And now let's hear some of The Entertainer. go to Ragtime Day NOLA.com for details and tickets. And now it's time for picks. Poppy?
I want to remind everybody, next weekend, Hogs for the Cause. Do not wait to buy your tickets. Go online. We'll be discussing it at length next weekend. Hundreds of pork dishes and music, too.
All right, Al.
The Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra has a couple of things coming up of note. First off, from the Meters, the Funky Meters, and Running Partners, George Porter Jr. will be on the stage at the New Orleans Jazz Market with conductor Scott Terrell. That'll be on Wednesday, April the 8th from 5:30 to 8:30. And then on April the 16th, Thursday night, 7:30 at the Orpheum, Kalina Bovell returns as the conductor for the Dvorak Symphony No. 7. I'll see you at the theater.
All right, now my pick, Rick DeLaub. Remember Rick DeLaub? His documentary on Ruthie the Duck Girl, which is very well done. It will be shown this Saturday at 5:15 and 7 p.m. at the Broad Theater. Go to nofs365.eventlive.org for tickets. And there will also be a streaming opportunity too, so check all that out. Saturday evening, beginning at 5, 13 galleries will be open for Jammin' on Julia Street and the nearby area. artisneworleans.com for details. This Thursday at Howlin' Wolf, Charmaine Neville, Susan Cowsill, Jelly Joseph, and so many more will kindly perform for a benefit for the New Orleans Women's and Children's Shelter. Tickets at thehowlinwolf.com. A reception honoring artists painting outdoors, plein air, will take place next Friday, the 10th, at the Abita Trailhead Museum in Abita Springs with an exhibit that weekend. And Peg Usner, among the many, many talented artists. Look at all the, that's not all of them. It's just amazing. Check it out. John Preble, Phil Sandusky. My goodness, the list is long. And congratulations to WYES's Exec Vice President and COO. We're so proud of him. Dominic Massa, on being named to Loyola's College of Music and Media Hall of Fame. The event is April the 15th at the New Orleans Jazz Museum. Tickets at loyno.edu/CMMHOF. And so, all excited about all of that, and we're about to hear one more song by Mississippi John Hurt this time, My Creole Belle, performed by Lars and Mr. Mackey. Thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you, Bob. Good night.
Independent, locally owned New Orleans bookstore, Octavia Books, offers author events, book signings, and hand-picked titles for all ages. OctaviaBooks.com.
Creole Restaurant offers a culinary adventure prepared by a tiny animated French chef. A 5-course dinner experience comes to life at each place setting using projection mapping. Located in the historic Hotel Monteleone. Learn more at creolonola.com.
This program is supported in part by a community arts grant made possible by the City of New Orleans as administered by Arts New Orleans.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area. Steppin' Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
From jazz to jambalaya, theater to galleries.
Steppin' Out brings you the best of our local arts and culture scene each week.
Let's step up and step out. Together, keeping WYES strong.